What is up YouTube, it's Game75 here today we're playing my sugar mommy Futanari. This game is something. Alright, let's get started. I don't know, it feels like some backwards from the Futanari chemist. I don't really think so, I'm not sure. Might be, but let's go. There had to be something I could do to make some extra cash. Sitting there in the sales entry with my headphones on listening to another stupid customer. Customer service. Drone about something they could have solved themselves. It definitely wasn't worth it to pay the bills. And the small amount I was making wasn't paying the bills. Anyway, to be honest, on social media I saw guys flashing nice clothes and going out and all the time. Meanwhile, my weekend was going on to consist of ramen and discounted beer. Maybe if I could afford it, another source of income would be really nice. After all, it wasn't like I didn't have something to offer someone. I was a decent worker, but taking on a second part-time job just didn't seem like it would be worth it, unless the compensation was high. It could be a high compensation, like who would have thought? Lie on my bed that night instead of surfing to see if there was a way to make some extra money, and also have some fun on the side as well. I often heard of sugar daddies for women and started to wonder if there was an alternative version for men as well. There's sugar mommies, there's literally sugar mommies. I used to have a sugar mommy before, but it wasn't all like that. But I did, but it was a wild one. But after all, I worked hard on my body. Maybe it was time to use it. If I could get laid at the same time, it would just be a bonus. Especially since I always had a fantasy about hooking up with a sexy MILF. Yes, MILF. I heard from my friends all the time that older women were amazing in bed and would give me everything that I wanted sexually. With large milkers and thighs and shit, like everything. They got everything. They're stacked, bro. Everything. If I could find one that might want to pay my bills, it would be a bonus. Doing a quick Google search told me not only was possible, were apps dedicated to it. Of course there are apps. There's on the App Store, Android Store. It took me about 5 seconds to download one. Thanks to modern technology, the app that I downloaded was very much like Tinder. Damn, even this time as well. This game is really talking about reality here too. You upload a profile with a picture and the description, and then you scroll through the profiles of women that were looking for what you had to offer. I tried hard to make my profile look as enticing as possible I could, considering my background, and I made sure to include one topless picture and was very glad that I work out all the time. Going through some of the women's profiles, there were lots of beautiful ones, and definitely some not so beautiful, but their net worth absolutely made them worth swiping right on. I knew that with these type of dating apps, you had to give it time. So I swiped to the right about 20 or 25 women and then closed the app and went to bed. Typically what an average person would do on a dating app until they randomly got away like 12 hours. Eagerly anticipating what I might find in the morning. I hope that it might be the answer to all my financial problems. Sunny. So bright. My alarm went off and I woke up with a start, quickly grabbing my phone and opened up the app to my delight. I found out that I had 3 matches. when that happens to me before, I wake up and I always be having up to like 18 or 19 matches all the time. I'm like, bro, who are these women? One was a woman that I found quite unattractive and was overweight. Well, that happened to me as well. Jeez. And one was a little too old for my taste and would definitely have taken a strong stomach to have sex with. Bro, this is just like my story. It's just like telling how I am, like how it all happened to me. The third was perfect. Yep, that's where I found the perfect one. Her name is Monica. According to her profile, she was the CEO of a large company and was simply looking for somebody to enjoy being her boy toy while she was not away at work. No filters in any of her statements, and she definitely put it right out there what she was looking for. You could definitely tell she worked out, which was a massive turn on for me. Tall as well, say that she was 6'2", and in her profile she mentioned she was well traveled and also full of surprises. Whatever that meant, I didn't really care because I immediately sent off a message to her telling her that I was glad that I that we matched on the site, and I was looking forward to getting to know her better. To my surprise, within an hour, she had responded with a message telling me she was coming back from a business trip, so her time clock was very screwed up. I certainly didn't want to give her any false pretenses right up front and wanted to be honest, so I told her about my situation. Look, I was up hard for money and I was looking for some financial compensation in exchange for providing her with whatever company she desired. Monica said that that was exactly what she was looking for on the site, and my physique definitely fit the bill of what she was looking for. Without me even having to ask her, she said that during the past arrangements, what she had done was to pay for a young man's rent, food, and was a slight allowance to make sure they didn't have any financial difficulties. And in exchange, I would have made myself available for whatever she pleased, which was normally when she was in town, home from business trips. My job would be to make sure that she was satisfied in every way, and accompany her to social events if she chose. It also sounded too good to be true. Quickly, I let her know I was definitely interested in pursuing an arrangement with her, and she seemed very happy with that. She told me that she was going to be back in town within a few days, and that she would love to meet me on Friday night. I don't know why I sound like that for. I couldn't believe something that could change my life entirely and provide me with financial support, as well as an incredibly sexy woman to enjoy, was going to possibly happen within a couple of days. We continued to correspond, and I found that the more I talked to her, the more I enjoyed getting to know her. She was mature, funny, and she sent me lots of provocative pictures, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And responded with the same. By the way, by the time she arrived back in town, I was really eager to finally meet her and ready to please her. Oh boy. When the time came, she provided me with the address for her penthouse condo, and then the Uber dropped me off. She buzzed me in. I took the mirror elevator to the top floor. I knocked on the door and it opened fairly quickly with a stunning lady inviting me in confidently. It's pretty nice. Monica was incredibly beautiful. Pictures barely did her justice, and what turned me on the most was her size. She was taller than me, and her hips were wide, and her massive melons almost spilling out of the white blouse that she was wearing. Pictures on the site and the ones she sent me were great, but they were nothing compared to her in real life. I was extremely nervous, of course, but she invited me in and offered me a glass of wine. It was pretty obvious we both knew what we were there for, but it was nice to feel that I wasn't just being used as an object. It felt more like a date. She poured us both a glass of wine, and I couldn't help but still looking at her. She sat down next to me on the couch, and when she got closer, I could feel my whole body tingle with anticipation. Margaret could obviously tell that I was nervous as she started to make the conversation, asking about my job and telling me about her week. She mentioned an incredible stressful week, and she was very much looking forward to tonight to be able to blow off some steam, giving me a knowing look. She told me about her job, which was dealing with a lot of clients in Hong Kong, and in her business life, things could get very stressful and have lots of ups and downs. This week it had been a lot of stress, so she definitely needed a way to unwind. I tried to be a little suave and told her I could definitely help her out with that. And she smiled when I said it. It was easy to relax talking to her, and once I had calmed down a little bit, I noticed that she was making more eye contact with me and her hand wandering across my couch to my thigh. And as soon as she touched me, I looked down at her and she giggled slightly, asking me if I was nervous. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous. This is the first time I've done anything like this. Well then, why don't you let me help you relax a little bit? Taking my wine glass, she put it down on the table and her hand went to the side of my neck. They were hard as rocks. It was driving me crazy. There was a sense of satisfaction about that. And when I finally woke up in the morning, Monica was no longer in the bed. I couldn't believe that what happened the night before was true. But the fact that I have woken up in a penthouse apartment and then walk out into the living room, and there was a note with a credit card beside it, made it seem all too real. The note read, "Sorry, I had an early meeting, so I had to take off. I'll be out of town for a few more days, and I'd love to see you next week for another night. Feel free to use this card as you see fit, and if you forward me your banking information, I'll make sure that your rent is paid at the beginning of the next month." I think our little arrangement is going to work out wonderfully, and I will make sure you're very well taken care of as long as you make sure that I'm very well taken care of. Monica. She even left food on the counter for me, seeing her eating and looking at my new life ahead of the end. Well, that's the end of this Sugar Mommy app video. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's the end of today's video, everybody. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.